The United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first sixth-generation fighter jet, and it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title. Nothing in the world comes even close to it.
March 21st, 2025. A date that will be remembered in military aviation history. In a dramatic Oval Office announcement, President Donald Trump unveiled America's next leap in air warfare technology, the F-47. Standing alongside Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin, Trump revealed that Boeing had won the coveted $20 billion contract to build the most advanced fighter jet in history. As Boeing shares jumped 5% and Lockheed Martin's plummeted 7%, the message was clear. America had just changed the global balance of power in the skies. There's never been anything even close to it, Trump declared with characteristic confidence. From speed to maneuverability, to what it can have, to payload, America's enemies will never see it coming. With these words, Trump sent shockwaves through Beijing and Moscow. China, which had proudly claimed to have developed the world's first sixth-generation fighter just months earlier, suddenly found itself playing catch-up to an American aircraft that has reportedly been secretly flying for 5 years. Russia, struggling to maintain its aging fleet of fighters, now faces an even wider technological gap that threatens to render its air defense systems obsolete. This wasn't just another military acquisition announcement. This was Trump placing his stamp on American military dominance for decades to come, choosing the fighter's designation as F-47, a number that perfectly aligns with his status as America's 47th president. When asked about the designation, Trump simply smiled and called 47 a beautiful number.
And it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked a title, and it's a beautiful number,
making the connection impossible to miss. The F-47 isn't just a replacement for the aging F-22 Raptor. It represents a fundamental transformation in how aerial warfare will be conducted. With unmatched stealth capabilities that make it virtually unseeable, well, according to Trump, the F-47 will command swarms of autonomous drones, extending its lethal reach across vast battle spaces, while keeping American pilots safely outside the most dangerous areas. If you believe America should always maintain air superiority, type yes in the comments below. For decades, the United States has maintained unquestioned dominance of the skies. But in recent years, both China and Russia have worked tirelessly to narrow that gap. China's unveiling of 2 mysterious fighter jets in late 2024 sent ripples through defense circles worldwide. Military analysts warned that America's edge was eroding, with some even suggesting the age of American air superiority might be ending. Those analysts couldn't have been more wrong. The F-47 represents a quantum leap in aerial warfare capability, so advanced that it creates an entirely new category. While fifth-generation fighters like the F-35 and F-22 focused on stealth, the F-47 combines unprecedented stealth technology with revolutionary combat systems that transform how wars will be fought from the air. What makes this aircraft truly revolutionary isn't just its incredible performance specifications. It's the fundamental shift in how aerial warfare will be conducted. The F-47 doesn't fly alone. It commands an entire fleet of autonomous drones known as Collaborative Combat Aircraft, or CCAs. These robotic wingmen extend the reach, capability, and lethality of a single F-47 exponentially. Imagine a single pilot controlling not just one aircraft, but an entire squadron of lethal unmanned systems, each carrying additional weapons, sensors, and electronic warfare capabilities. The development of the F-47 hasn't been without controversy. The Pentagon committed to learning hard lessons from the troubled F-35 program, which became what many critics called a boondoggle weapon program. Frank Kendall, Secretary of the Air Force, highlighted the mistakes made with the F-35's intellectual property arrangements, where the government didn't own the technical data, creating what he called a perpetual monopoly for Lockheed Martin. "We're not going to do that with NG-8, Kendall firmly stated. "We're going to make sure that the government has ownership of the intellectual property it needs. We're going to make sure we have modular designs with open systems so that going forward we can bring new suppliers in. And we'll have a much tighter degree of government control over that program than we've had." This approach marks a significant shift in how the military develops its most critical weapon systems. By securing intellectual property rights and using open systems architecture, the F-47 can be continuously upgraded throughout its lifetime without being held hostage to a single contractor's pricing structures. Boeing's victory in securing the $20 billion contract came as a surprise to many industry insiders who expected Lockheed Martin to continue its dominance in stealth fighter production. For Boeing, which has faced tremendous challenges in recent years with its commercial aircraft division and troubled defense programs like the KC-46 tanker, this win represents a critical lifeline and a chance to reclaim its legacy in military aviation. We recognize the importance of designing, building, and delivering a sixth-generation fighter capability for the United States Air Force. Steve Parker, who leads Boeing's defense business, said in a statement, "In preparation for this mission, we made the most significant investment in the history of our defense business. This victory couldn't have come at a more crucial time for Boeing." The company reported an $11.8 billion annual loss in January, its largest since 2020, due to problems across its major divisions and fallout from a strike that shuttered production of most of its jets. The F-47 contract offers a path to redemption for a company that has struggled with quality control issues, most notably when a door plug blew out during an Alaska Airlines flight in January 2024. The most visible and controversial feature of the F-47 revealed in official artwork is its use of canard foreplanes, small wing-like surfaces near the nose of the aircraft. This design choice raised eyebrows among aviation experts, as canards have traditionally been difficult to incorporate into highly stealthy aircraft designs. They create radar reflections that can compromise the aircraft's stealth characteristics, particularly from the frontal aspect, which is most critical for combat survival. Yet Boeing appears to have solved this engineering challenge, potentially through the use of advanced composites, radar-transparent structures, or even morphing control surfaces that can change their position or shape to minimize radar returns. The canards significantly enhance the F-47's maneuverability and performance, suggesting Boeing prioritized combat agility alongside stealth rather than pursuing stealth at all costs. The unique designation of F-47 carries multiple layers of significance. Beyond the obvious connection to Trump as the 47th president, it also echoes the legendary P-47 Thunderbolt of World War II fame, one of America's most effective fighter aircraft of that era. Known for its incredible durability and firepower, the original P-47 helped secure Allied air superiority over Europe. The choice to resurrect this designation creates a symbolic link between America's current aerial dominance and its historical legacy as the world's preeminent air power. When asked during the Oval Office announcement about the F-47's price tag, Trump declined to provide specifics, saying, "We can't tell you the price," suggesting that revealing the cost might inadvertently disclose classified information about the aircraft's capabilities or production numbers. However, General Alvin later stated that the F-47 would cost less than the F-22 Raptor, which has a unit price of approximately $143 million. This represents a significant victory for cost control, as early estimates had put the F-47's price at around $300 million per aircraft, roughly triple the cost of an F-35. These staggering cost projections led former Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall to pause the program in May 2024 for reconsideration. The pause allowed the Pentagon to reevaluate the program and find ways to bring costs down without sacrificing essential capabilities. What truly distinguishes the F-47 from its predecessors is its revolutionary capability to function as both a manned fighter and an autonomous unmanned aerial vehicle. Like its bomber cousin, the B-21 Raider, the F-47 can transition between having a pilot in the cockpit or operating completely autonomously. This dual capability dramatically lowers risks for pilots in dangerous combat situations while maintaining the option for human judgment when missions require it. This ability to shift between manned and unmanned operations represents a fundamental rethinking of combat aircraft design. Traditional fighters were built around the pilot, with every system designed to support human operation. The F-47 breaks this paradigm by treating the human pilot as optional, creating an aircraft that functions equally well with or without a person in the cockpit. Beyond its primary air superiority role, the F-47 is designed to penetrate the most heavily defended airspace on Earth, collecting crucial intelligence and providing battlefield awareness that no other system can match. Its advanced sensor suite can detect, track, and classify hundreds of targets simultaneously, feeding this information back to commanders and allowing for rapid decision-making that outpaces enemy response times. The introduction of the F-47 comes at a critical moment in global power competition. China's military buildup in the Pacific presents one of the most significant challenges to American power projection since the Cold War. Chinese advanced air defense systems, growing naval capabilities, and increasing assertiveness have created what military planners call an anti-access area denial environment that makes it increasingly difficult for American forces to operate freely. The F-47 was purpose-built to overcome these challenges. Its combination of extreme stealth, extended range, and networked lethality allows it to penetrate even the most sophisticated Chinese defenses. While the F-35 and F-22 were designed primarily for relatively short-range combat over Europe during the Cold War, the F-47 is tailored for the vast distances of the Pacific theater, where ranges are measured in thousands rather than hundreds of miles. This Pacific-focused design addresses one of the most significant vulnerabilities in America's current fighter fleet: their dependence on aerial refueling. Current fighters require constant tanker support to operate at long distances, creating a critical vulnerability that potential adversaries have recognized and targeted in their military planning. The F-47's extended range significantly reduces this dependency, allowing it to operate even when tankers cannot safely approach the battlespace. Perhaps most impressively, the Trump administration asserted that the F-47 definitively debunks China's claim of developing the first crewed sixth-generation fighter in history. While China unveiled aircraft they claimed represented next-generation capabilities, General Alvin made it clear that the F-47 has been quietly flying for years. Despite what our adversaries claim, the F-47 is truly the world's first crewed sixth-generation fighter. While our X-planes were flying in the shadows, we were cementing our air dominance, accelerating the technology, refining our operational concepts, and proving that we can field this capability faster than ever before. The F-47's design incorporates lessons from every air war fought since the invention of the jet engine. Its stealth technology builds upon decades of American experience with radar-evading aircraft. From the F-117 Nighthawk that shocked the world during the Gulf War, to the B-2 Spirit bomber that can deliver massive payloads anywhere on Earth without detection. But stealth is just the beginning of what makes this aircraft revolutionary. The F-47's electronic warfare capabilities represent a generational leap beyond current systems. Advanced jamming and spoofing technologies allow it to not just hide from enemy sensors, but actively manipulate what they see, creating phantom targets or completely blinding defensive systems. The aircraft's power system features next-generation generators that produce significantly more electrical power than previous fighters. This increased power generation enables the operation of more powerful sensors, electronic warfare systems, and potentially directed energy weapons like high-powered microwaves or laser systems that could defeat incoming missiles or disable enemy electronics. Propulsion technology has made similar advances, with the F-47 featuring engines that deliver unprecedented thrust-to-weight ratios while maintaining fuel efficiency across a wide performance envelope. These engines likely incorporate advanced thermal management systems to minimize infrared signature that's a critical consideration for a stealth aircraft facing modern heat-seeking missiles. In a significant departure from previous policy, Trump announced that the United States would be willing to sell toned-down export versions of the F-47 to allies. This marks a major shift from the approach taken with the F-22 Raptor, which was banned from export even to America's closest allies due to security concerns. "Our allies are calling constantly," Trump said during the announcement. "They want to buy them also." This openness to exports suggests both confidence in maintaining American technological superiority and recognition that allied interoperability is crucial in potential future conflicts. However, Trump added an important caveat about these export versions. Because someday, maybe they're not our allies, right? This statement highlights the careful balance between strengthening alliances and protecting America's most sensitive military technologies. The global reaction to the F-47's unveiling has been predictably mixed. China's state media attempted to downplay the significance of the aircraft, claiming their own developmental fighters incorporate similar or superior technologies. Russian officials similarly dismissed the announcement as American propaganda, while privately, defense officials in both countries are likely scrambling to assess the strategic implications of this new American capability. Among America's allies, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive, though not without complications. Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom have all expressed interest in acquiring the export variant once it becomes available. However, the announcement comes at a time when some allies are reconsidering their purchases of American weapons systems. Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney has asked his defense minister to review the country's purchase of F-35s, while Portugal is also reconsidering its planned acquisition due to recent positions taken by the U.S. government. For the U.S. Air Force, the F-47 represents the centerpiece of a broader transformation in how aerial warfare is conducted. Combined with the B-21 Raider bomber, these two platforms form the core of America's penetrating joint air power for decades to come. Together, they ensure that no area of the globe is beyond the reach of American power projection, regardless of the anti-access systems deployed against them. The F-47 isn't arriving in isolation. It's part of a comprehensive system of systems that transforms how America projects power globally. This networked approach combines space-based assets, cyber capabilities, unmanned systems, and hypersonic weapons into a seamlessly integrated force package. The result is multiplicative rather than merely additive. The whole becomes vastly more powerful than the sum of its parts. At the heart of this integration is an advanced artificial intelligence system that allows the F-47 to process information at speeds no human pilot could match. This AI doesn't replace the human pilot, but rather acts as an indispensable partner handling routine tasks, monitoring threats, suggesting tactical options, and coordinating with other networked platforms. Think of it as a digital wingman with instantaneous reactions and perfect situational awareness. This AI co-pilot is more than just a helpful tool. It's a fundamental revolution in how combat aircraft operate. Military aviation history has been defined by the constant tension between the capabilities of the aircraft and the physiological limitations of human pilots. The F-47's AI system resolves this tension by handling aspects of flight that push human capabilities to their limits, allowing pilots to focus on higher-level strategic decision-making. The implications for combat effectiveness are staggering. A traditional dogfight between fighter jets involves split-second decisions under extreme physical stress, with pilots experiencing crushing G-forces while trying to maintain situational awareness. The F-47's AI assistant can track every threat, calculate optimal maneuvers, and suggest the perfect moment to employ weapons, all while the human pilot remains focused on broader tactical goals. What makes this approach particularly powerful is that the F-47's AI system isn't isolated to a single aircraft. It's part of a distributed intelligence network that spans the entire battle space, instantly sharing information with other platforms. When one F-47 detects a threat, that information immediately becomes available to every other networked asset, creating a level of coordinated response that adversaries simply cannot match. The history of America's technological edge in military aviation provides crucial context for understanding the significance of the F-47. After World War II, American aerospace innovation delivered a series of game-changing aircraft that defined their eras. The F-86 Sabre that dominated MiG-15s over Korea, the F-4 Phantom that set new standards for versatility, the F-15 Eagle that remains undefeated in air-to-air combat, and the F-22 Raptor that introduced true stealth to fighter aviation. Each of these aircraft represented a decisive technological edge that forced adversaries to play catch-up, often spending billions on systems that were obsolete before they ever entered service. The F-47 continues this proud tradition, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in military aviation and ensuring America's pilots never face a fair fight. What's particularly remarkable about the F-47's development is that it occurred during a period when many questioned the relevance of manned fighter aircraft altogether. The rise of sophisticated drones, precision-guided munitions, and advanced surface-to-air missile systems led some to suggest that the era of the fighter pilot was coming to an end. Even Elon Musk, a key Trump advisor, has voiced skepticism about the effectiveness of crewed, high-end fighters, arguing that cheaper drones represent a better investment. Despite these doubts, the Trump administration has made a definitive statement that manned aircraft working alongside unmanned systems represent the optimal approach for the foreseeable future. This decision reflects both military necessity and Trump's long-standing emphasis on American technological superiority. The Trump administration's decision to accelerate the F-47 program aligns perfectly with the president's broader strategic vision. Throughout his presidency, Trump has emphasized the importance of maintaining America's technological edge over potential adversaries. In numerous speeches, he highlighted the dangers of allowing China or Russia to achieve military parity with the United States, frequently pointing to advances in aviation as critical indicators of national power. The F-47 procurement represents not just a military acquisition, but a broader industrial strategy. By spreading major defense programs across multiple contractors, with Boeing building the F-47, Lockheed Martin producing the F-35, and Northrop Grumman handling both the B-21 Raider and the Navy's next-generation fighter, the Trump administration has ensured that each of America's aerospace giants has a stable foundation for continued innovation and manufacturing. This distribution of contracts strengthens America's defense industrial base at a time when global competition is intensifying. As Doug Berkey, executive director of the Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies, noted, "For the country, that's a really important thing, to have that innovation, that competition, and frankly, the volume production. Our ability to turn stuff en masse, which is what the future world is going to require, has been limited, and we need to rebuild the defense industrial base that the current environment demands." Boeing's airframe incorporates advanced composite materials that offer unprecedented strength-to-weight ratios while contributing to its stealth characteristics. These composites include carbon-carbon materials similar to those used in hypersonic vehicles, allowing the aircraft to maintain structural integrity even during extended supersonic flight. The use of these materials represents a significant manufacturing challenge, requiring production techniques that few nations can master. The aircraft's canopy incorporates special coatings that reduce radar reflections while maintaining perfect optical clarity for the pilot. This type of coating technology has been in development for decades but has only recently matured to the point where it can be integrated into operational aircraft. Another revolutionary aspect of the F-47 is its sensor fusion capability. Previous generation fighters relied on separate systems for radar detection, infrared tracking, electronic warfare, and communications. The F-47 integrates all these functions into a seamless whole, presenting pilots with a unified picture of the battle space rather than requiring them to mentally combine information from multiple sources. This integration extends to the aircraft's weapon systems as well. The F-47 can employ a diverse arsenal, ranging from traditional air-to-air missiles to directed energy weapons, selecting the optimal combination based on threat analysis and mission parameters. This flexibility allows a single aircraft to adapt to rapidly changing combat situations without the need for different specialized platforms. For decades, American military planners have worried about China's growing anti-access area denial capabilities in the Western Pacific. These layered defenses are designed to keep American forces at bay during a potential conflict, particularly over Taiwan. The F-47 directly addresses this challenge, offering the range, stealth, and lethality needed to penetrate these defenses and hold even the most heavily protected targets at risk. Military analysts have long recognized that America's fighter force has become increasingly dependent on aerial refueling, creating a significant vulnerability in contested environments. Tanker aircraft with their large radar signatures and limited defensive capabilities would be prime targets in any major conflict. The F-47's extended range dramatically reduces this dependency, allowing it to operate effectively even when tanker support is unavailable. The F-47's focus on the Pacific theater reflects a broader strategic shift in American defense planning. After decades of emphasizing European security and Middle Eastern stability, the United States has increasingly recognized that the Indo-Pacific region represents the primary arena of great power competition in the 21st century. The F-47's design priorities, particularly its emphasis on range, directly support this pivot to Asia. When future military historians look back on the development of the F-47, they'll likely identify it as the moment when American air power decisively entered the age of human-machine teaming. Rather than choosing between manned and unmanned systems, the F-47 program embraced a hybrid approach that leverages the strengths of both. Human judgment, creativity, and adaptability are complemented by machine precision, speed, and endurance, creating a combination that neither could achieve alone. The aircraft will join the Air Force inventory gradually, with low-rate initial production expected to begin in the coming years. Full operational capability won't be achieved until the 2030s, but even in limited numbers, the F-47 changes the strategic calculus for potential adversaries. Its very existence forces competitors to reconsider their defense investments and potentially waste resources trying to counter capabilities they can only guess at. From a broader strategic perspective, the F-47 represents America's commitment to maintaining technological superiority in a rapidly evolving global security environment. While some critics question the need for such advanced manned aircraft in an era of increasing automation and remote warfare, the Pentagon's decision to invest heavily in the F-47 reflects a belief that manned-unmanned teaming represents the optimal approach for the foreseeable future. The world of aerial warfare is being rewritten by this revolutionary aircraft. While most nations struggle to field and maintain effective fifth-generation fighters, the United States has already moved decisively into the sixth generation. The F-47 doesn't just maintain America's edge in the skies, it extends it for decades to come. For all the impressive specifications and capabilities, perhaps the most significant aspect of the F-47 is what it represents: America's enduring commitment to maintaining the most powerful, effective fighting force on the planet. In an era of increasing global competition and resurgent great power rivalry, the F-47 sends an unmistakable message to friend and foe alike. American air dominance isn't ending, it's evolving to meet the challenges of a new era. As President Trump said during the unveiling ceremony, the F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. And if it ever happens, they won't know what the hell hit them. America's enemies should take note. The skies are about to become even more dangerous for those who challenge the United States. While they've been studying American fifth-generation fighters, trying to develop countermeasures and similar capabilities, the F-47 has changed the game entirely. By the time they develop effective responses to the F-22 and F-35, they'll be facing an entirely new threat that renders those countermeasures obsolete. This technological leapfrogging has been a consistent hallmark of American military innovation. Time and again, just as adversaries begin to close the capability gap, the United States introduces revolutionary systems that reset the competition. The F-47 continues this proud tradition, ensuring that America's adversaries remain perpetually one generation behind. For America's allies, the F-47 represents both an opportunity and a challenge. The opportunity lies in access to a fighter capability that far exceeds anything they could develop independently. The challenge comes in the form of integration costs, infrastructure requirements, and the need to develop doctrine that maximizes the aircraft's revolutionary capabilities. The export version of the F-47, while somewhat less capable than the American variant, will still represent a quantum leap over the most advanced fighters currently available to U.S. allies. Nations that acquire these aircraft will gain not just a powerful weapon system, but also deeper strategic alignment with American security objectives and operational concepts. For American taxpayers, the F-47 represents a significant investment in national security, but one that delivers substantial returns. By maintaining clear air superiority, the United States deters potential adversaries from military adventurism, reduces the likelihood of costly conflicts, and ensures that if war does come, American forces will fight with decisive advantages. The development of the F-47 also drives innovation in the broader economy. Technologies developed for military aerospace applications inevitably find their way into civilian uses, from advanced materials and manufacturing techniques to artificial intelligence systems and power management solutions. This technological spillover creates jobs, enhances American competitiveness, and improves quality of life for citizens. The F-47's development wasn't without its skeptics. Throughout the process, various critics questioned whether the enormous investment required could be justified when unmanned systems and long-range missiles seemed to offer cheaper alternatives. President Trump's unwavering support for the program proved decisive, overriding bureaucratic resistance and ensuring the next generation of American air power would not be compromised by short-term budget considerations. That's the ultimate promise of the F-47. Not just that America can win the next war, but that our technological superiority might prevent that war from ever happening. Because when potential adversaries look at what they'd face in the F-47, they'll understand that the cost of challenging American power is simply too high. In the final analysis, that's what makes the F-47 truly revolutionary. Not just its incredible technical capabilities, but its contribution to America's most important military mission: deterring conflicts before they begin. As we continue tracking developments with this remarkable aircraft, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and have hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. If you found this analysis valuable, give this video a thumbs up so others can benefit from it too. Your support helps us continue bringing you the most accurate and in-depth coverage of developments that matter to our national security. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes on the skies.